Hi, my name is Andrew. Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to look at the ultimate resource for startups at pre-revenue stage. This is an important video if you are a startup, you haven't got your product completely refined, or you're not at a point where you're making revenue, but you still want to be able to reach out to potential investors. Just a little bit of information about me. I'm Andrew, a fundraising consultant and capital sourcing advisor with 15 years of experience in high-value real estate and investment advisory roles across Canada, Dubai, and the Caribbean. To be clear, I help clients navigate fundraising with clarity, strategy, and targeted outreach. Now, over the past 4 years on Fiverr, I've assisted over 350 clients from tech startups to real estate groups with fundraising strategy, pitch deck refinement, investor outreach, and custom investor databases tailored to their sector, stage, and capital needs. Currently, I'm advising a US-based private equity group on a $50 million equity raise, coordinating strategy and outreach to investment banks, family investment offices, and private equity partners. You take a look on the right-hand side, you can see some of the gigs that I have on Fiverr, and you can click my link below to get more information. So to start off with, what's an accelerator? Well, an accelerator is a structured program that provides early stage startups with seed funding, mentorship, training, and access to investors in exchange for equity. Now, these programs typically run for a fixed period, 3 to 6 months, and are designed to rapidly prepare startups for growth and future fundraising. So the typical funding path. Now, I get approached by hundreds of founders every single month, and they always ask, can you find investors for me? Or the most popular one is, can you connect me with angel investors? So let's take a quick look at really how the flow should go. Everybody who's a startup founder should think about this pathway. First of all, you have to have some of your own money. Without any money, just a pitch deck, the odds are almost zero that you're going to get anything funded. So you need to have a few $1,000s to start off with. Then the next one is the family and friends. So you have to rely on informal support from close contacts. 500 from your brother, 1,000 from your mother, that sort of thing. Your uncles, aunts, anybody that you know, and of course even future past employees, past bosses that you've worked for. Those are great ways to raise capital. In fact, many people raise, $500,000, sometimes even up to $1 million on those informal channels. Next, grants and competitions, if that's something that's either through your local government or university programs. And the next one's the one we're going to really focus on today, and that's accelerators and incubators. So that is gaining funding, mentorship, and networks. Those firms are designed to help startups, typically ones that are pre-revenue. Maybe it's an MVP project, and that's what we're going to focus a little bit on now. Then you come to angel investors. So that attracts high net worth individuals for early stage investment. A lot of people want to take the shortcut by looking at that red line and going, okay, how do I get right to angel investors? Typically, that's not the way that it's best for you to do it, and we're going to cover off a little bit of that now. Now let's go to the next stage. So what are the next funding options after you've gone through that? Well, angel networks, that's syndicates, groups of angels pooling resources. I have a database of the top US-based angel groups, and that's a perfect database, especially if your startup has already started to gain a little bit of revenue. And that's a really key fact because it's the step before the venture capital, seed venture capital, small venture capital firms that specialize in early stage companies. So you can see there's a flow here. And then the crowdfunding, equity, rewards-based online platforms like Start Engine, Kickstarter. I just helped a client from Atlanta who has got a great idea for a startup. And what I've suggested to him is first, look locally, then also take a look at some of the accelerators in the area, and then look at some online platforms that are going to help you, and I give him a list of about 10 of them. After that, then I have much more robust databases if you have a startup that's earning some pretty good revenue and it's time for you to start looking at funds that have already raised capital in your sector. I have the largest fund database available. It has around 400,000 contacts, 24,000 funds that have been launched since 2022, and that's perfect because those funds already have the money and they're all ready to deploy capital. So what's the main problem? Why most startups fail to access accelerators? Well, founders will spend weeks searching for relevant programs. The information is scattered and outdated. Early stage startups with no revenue or just a MVP often don't know where to start. What I also recommend is don't hire somebody to scrape the internet for information on our accelerators or any other VCs, whatever. That's the worst thing, because you end up picking up irrelevant data. You pick up venture capital firms or accelerators that are probably out of business because the website never goes down. So be very careful when somebody says, yeah, I can scrape the web for you, it's $50. I would not want you to go down that route, because it's basically starting from zero. So the solution is, I have a couple databases that I'm going to show you coming up, and we've got about 3,400 global accelerators all in one place. It's a complete database, covers all regions, sectors, and startup stages. So it's immediate access that saves founders time and money. Now, nobody needs the entire list unless you're in the venture capital business and you need it for networking. So what I tend to do is say, listen, I can help you. We can work on a program where I try to find you 20, 50, or 100, and then we work on how much that's going to run you. So we're going to take a look at that coming up. So let's take a quick look at the database. Okay, now I'm going to show you the two accelerator databases that I have. And as mentioned earlier in the video, you don't need all of them, and this is something where I can pick a number of them. You still have to click the website, try to get contacts. It's not a database that you're going to spam. It's a very targeted. The whole idea about accelerators, it's very much relationship based. You need to tell a story about who you are. Obviously, if you've got a pitch deck, that's going to make a big difference. If you've got a pitch deck but it's not refined yet, get it over to me on Fiverr and I can help you clean it up. About 80% of the pitch decks that I receive are they're not ready to send out to anybody. But generally, even a lot of these accelerators will let you onboard your pitch deck right to them. But it's really important to understand how they work. Some of them are very targeted. So again, it's a database that you still have to spend a lot of time with. So this one here's got 195. These are all United States based. And in many cases, you're going to get a fairly good description of what they're involved in. Almost always it's going to be a company email, and then of course sector interest. So that's important to keep in mind. So that's the first sheet. Then the next sheet here is a larger data set, which is about 3,200. This is more global. It doesn't have as much information as far as sectors go, so there's a little more research that you would need to do on this one. But it's perfect for people that are really looking to drill down into, okay, for example, the particular city. For example, a client that's in Atlanta, you can see here, Chicago. Most accelerators that you're going to deal with, it's best that they're in your local area, because you do have to make trips. You have to go to pitch nights and that sort of thing. But this is the perfect type of database to start with. And again, this does have sector information here, so you're going to be okay on that. And that's a perfect way for you, if you've got a startup, you're not making revenue yet, but you still want to be able to connect. Beautiful thing about incubators and accelerators, they have a network of investors. So what they do is they take an equity stake. They don't charge you anything up front to be part of it, but what they do is they'll have pitch nights. They want to pick what they consider the most fundable opportunities, and then pitch them to their particular investors. So it's a great way for you to reach angel investors, ultra high net worth investors, without having your own database. Now, are you looking for global funds and contacts? So this is the bigger picture of what I have in my database. My verified database includes 24,000 global funds raised between 2022 and 2025, 400,000 fundraising executives with 277,000 emails. And that's coverage across all regions, asset classes, and strategies. It's the most complete global capital access tool available. So that's perfect if you're already looking to raise capital and you may be a startup, or you may be 3 or 4 years in business and it's time for you to raise some serious capital. The beauty of this is these funds already have the capital. It's already raised. So you're really looking at then just picking what sector, maybe it's by country, but it's the great way for you to get access to verified database. For more information on my databases and fundraising services, click my Fiverr link below. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.